Okay, y'all, we are on to video number 4, not 8, 4. Okay, in this video, we are going to cover something that we do get questions on a lot, and it's the cost of all of this. This all sounds great, but everything costs money, right? And it does. But the good thing is that we're going to walk you through what that looks like today and hopefully give you some clarity. Again, in this video, we're not going to tell you the bottom number that training and certification costs because, again, it varies. And that's the hardest part, but it's true. So this cost with getting your dog trained and going through the process, it's gonna be so different. And it all begins at where you get your pup, whether you get it from a breeder or whether you adopt. Obviously, there's a cost difference between the two of those. And even if you get a dog from a breeder, there's going to be a cost difference there as well. So if you're getting a dog, sometimes with an adoption, sometimes there's a minimal fee. If you choose it from a breeder, again, more expensive. Totally up to you. Again, it goes back to the fact that there is no one dog and one breed that needs to do therapy work. It truly just depends on, again, their personality and their temperament. Also, something that's going to vary with the cost is training. So whether you train at home with you and your pup, or you go work with a trainer in group therapy or private sessions. Now, something that I have heard from people too is, well, what do I do? I really want to do therapy work, but I can't afford any of that and I don't have the time. Something that you could do, and this is just an idea, I cannot guarantee you that it'll work, but something that I was thinking is launching a GoFundMe page or some other similar type of crowdfunding source and work with your community to get started. I mean, if you think about it full circle, what a cool way to involve your community, knowing that you're going to give back and love them. So cool. So those are some options.
Yeah, for sure. And if you do, like you had said in an earlier video, there is tons of information out online and you can YouTube yourself all day long as, to help train your dog. But if you do feel like you need a more structured scenario or, like you want to kind of have that personal one-on-one training, truth be told, when Juno was a wee puppy, we started at Petco. And so we started taking just some puppy classes at Petco. The going rate now is about like $20, $25 a class. From Petco, we moved on to a local training facility that was a little more structured, even more so, for us. And the price was about the same there. They let you buy classes in bulk. So you were able to save a little bit of money if you were you bought they called them class passes. And so if you bought like 10 at a time, you got a little bit of a discount there. Our local Humane Society offers classes, everybody, it's not hard to come by classes and they're all about, the same as far as costs go. So again, just do your research, but I would expect to pay, somewhere around $20 a class. And
those are for group classes.
Yes,
not private training.
Right, exactly. The next thing I was going to say is that if you want to even go more personalized, you can get personal instruction. Obviously, personal instruction, one-on-one training, it's going to cost more. We've actually taken advantage of that in specific areas over the course of Juno's life. With behavioral stuff and then also just things that we wanted her to learn how to do. And it was really hard to do that in a group setting. And so the private lessons are really good. Like I said, I personally have used them for specific things. Rough cost, I would say you're probably between $50 and $80 a class for something like that, to have somebody give you a one-on-one session. So, lots and lots of options, all the way from doing it yourself, classes, larger group classes, and then all the way up to, our neighbors got a puppy and they're having someone come to their home, that's different. I took advantage of private lessons, but I was still at the facility. I didn't have somebody in my home, but there are people who will come and train your dog within your own surroundings too. So and obviously, the more exclusive it is, the more money you're probably going to pay. But, the average, I would say, you're probably in like 50, 85-ish, range for like a private lesson. So just Google, look around, do your homework, find out how much they cost before you're ready to make that decision.
And and to interrupt you real quick. The thing too, and again, I really am trying to make everybody see that you can mix and match this to your personality as well, to you and your dog's needs, I guess I should say.
Yep.
however you want. So let's say you want to start with trying to train at home with YouTube and you're like, this is either going great or it's not going great.
Right.
You can choose group classes. You can all group classes until the finish line. You can choose personal training one-on-one in home, in a facility, whatever it takes. But you just have to think, whatever the end result is, it's all going to be the same. So that's great. How you get there, totally different. But also knowing that if you're going to do group training or private training, group training will take a little bit longer. So just again, think about all these things and make the decisions appropriate for what works for you.
Yeah. And over the course of our time, I mean, honestly, if we weren't quarantined at home right now, we would still be in group classes. Juno, we stayed with group classes the entire time. We loved
I
them.
love
We
that.
made
I love
friends
that.
with those people, and we looked at it as those were Juno's friends. And
Mhm.
it was really cool because we all started as puppies at the same time and they grew together. And it was just a fun thing for us to do with our dog, you know, and it just kind of kept her in shape. But the thing that I'll add is that because we've been going to classes for so many years, I've seen a lot of people kind of come and go. And what some people will do is that they'll use group classes or even on occasion a private lesson to just supplement their own training. And so that's another way to use those classes. That say that you're cool to, you know, YouTube and work on things yourself for, you know, sometimes maybe a month or two. And then you might find yourself struggling or slipping or saying, I need a little bit of extra help. And then they would pop into a class and they'd come back and they would say, yeah, we needed a brush up. You know, we wanted to brush up on a couple things. And then they would go off again and they would do their own training. And then they would come back when they needed it. So yeah, just, you don't have to be, it's not a huge commitment, but use training in the way that it will work for you, for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah. And so those facilities, you know, our specific facility too, one of the things that they offered, which I loved, which I took advantage of when we were trying to become therapy dog teams, is a lot of facilities will offer an evaluation. And so it's like a test before the test. And so they'll offer prep tests or evaluations. You know, some of the pre-test classes, you might have to pay a small fee. But some facilities will offer to give you a free evaluation. And so that's another good way to just figure out, especially if you're training on your own, it's good to have some evaluator, an outside person, check to see where your progress is and what are the things that you need to work on. And if all else fails, like Christina said before, you know, find someone. If we're not proof of people who like to talk about therapy dogs, then I don't know what is, but you'll find that we love to talk about it because we're passionate about it and we love to do this and we love to help other people. And so if somebody came up to me and they wanted some help and they wanted me to help evaluate and tell them what they needed to work on, I would do it in a heartbeat. And so if you're even struggling to find a facility, just find a friend and they will absolutely help you on your way.
Yep. I love that. That's such good advice. And you know, to tie this all together, you know, when people ask, what's the cost of this? Again, it's going to vary so much. So just, you know, do the best you can and just know you can supplement in so many different ways.
Right.
Some may take a little bit longer if you want to do it more cost effective. But there are options. And the best part is that you can again, just be honest with yourself about what works for you, what works for your family and for your dog in your situation.